Okay, so I'm going to re-record this whole section on dimensioning across center lines for a fully symmetrical part. So I'm going to start with this view and just introduce center marks. So I only need 2 of them. I'm doing it here because it's going to be easier to do it once instead of twice. So I'm going to use these by just dragging their tails out nice and long. Well, actually that one doesn't need to be long, but this side does. So let's just, you'll see why shortly. Right, so once I've got that, I can Control C, click Control V, and this one I'm going to scale up by 3 is to 1. And all I need now is this little quarter, this right hand quarter, or you could do the left hand quarter, whichever quarter you feel like. I'm just biased with the right hand quarter. I'm going to dimension this first without putting in datum lines and center lines, because you'll see why once I've dimensioned it. So I'm going to start where I should have started this afternoon with the sort of the main feature, which is this, well, not the main feature, but certainly the closest feature to this piece here, which is the circle. So I need a position dimension, so that's the X position, which is 12.6, and it's already positioned at Y at 0, so I don't need to put that in. So I've got the X position. I'm going to leave that out there for now. Put the size dimension in. Okay, so if we go step by step, we can see that the next thing we need is, well, we can put those in later, but we need the size for this this angle. We need the angle and the position. So the angle is the size. Come on, right? It's also part of the position. But I need a position now, so I can either select the opening, which is good enough for a position, or I can put in a virtual sharp between these 2 lines, the arc and the angle. Go to Sketch, select those 2 with the Shift button, okay, and then I'd put a similar one in this side, and I'd use that as the position. But that's more work than I need to do, so I'm simply going to use endpoint to endpoint. Okay, I think the reason why that's not working so well is I should have put the size in first, then it wouldn't have gotten confused with this position dimension. So there we go, I've got a size because it's going across the Y, yes, the Y at 0, and so that's 18.9. We can divide that in half, and then we've got an angle. And then I need a size, a position dimension for this one here. In this afternoon's lesson, I'd given just to halfway. Delete that. But you should actually go all the way across, because it's the full size we need, not half the size. Okay, so those are all my size dimensions, and then I need a radius here and another edge radius here, and this one here, because we don't know what that is, it's not going to be defined by the wall thickness, and this one as well. And these 2 radii I can put inside this empty space inside the extrusion. Okay, so that's all done. I think we've got it all. Yes, we need a wall thickness. 1, 2, 2, and put in a notation here. You just need to put wall thickness. You don't need to put common wall thickness, is what I'd said this afternoon. Wall thickness is good enough. Edit that. I'm just going to go to the left hand side here. Wall thickness, right. So that's it. We've got all the dimensions we need. I now just need to crop this view, and the way I do that is, now this bit can be a little bit tricky in that I'm going to create a rectangle, and whatever I create in the rectangle is what I'm going to get cropped. So I need to start this rectangle a little bit to the left and the lower part of this dimension, so it doesn't cut out the center line, and then I need to make it large enough so that it encompasses enough of these center lines there and there, so I can use that to put notations in. So So once I've got that sketch made, I can leave it selected and go across to View Layout and go to Crop View, and you'll see it's cropped the view neatly. But it's given me enough meat on the center line so I can put notations in. So before I do, let's go first to annotations, just to make this quite official. Let's put the datum features in. So let's see, I want that to be A. So there are only two datums here. That's this one, A, and that one, B, or the other way around, doesn't matter. And then I also need a notation. So go to Note, center line, click once, click again, and then click and right click, or exit. So that's that dimension. I think I can actually, yes, we can actually control this. Not that one. So that's good enough. Right, so now the only thing to show is just how to make these dimensions only go to the center line. Well, they won't go to the center line, but we don't need these other bits. So if I click on this dimension, I right click on the side I don't want, and I say hide extension line, it'll hide it, and I do the same hide dimension line, it'll hide it. So this is a perfectly acceptable way of dimensioning from a center line across the center line. If it doesn't have an arrow, the automatic implication is that this dimension crosses the center line to form a full dimension. So we'll do the same with this this size dimension here, 44, hide extension line, hide dimension line, and then the same with the angle. So hide dimension line, right click, hide extension line, and then lastly with this one we'll do the same. Okay, so that's it. That's one way of doing it. Right, so that's not associated with this view, and it should be. I'm going to do it right now. And then I just arrange this a bit better. So 12.6. Oh dear. Okay, so I will need to pull this out to the top because I didn't snip. I snipped it on the wrong side. Right, that's all you need. Now the other way to do it, I'm not going to fully dimension the other way, but the other way I'll show you just how to get the view, which is probably a quicker way. Is to go to this view and do the same as what I just did now, but on the small view. Rectangle, get it to go like that. Take it quite far out, and then go to View Layout and say Detail View. It'll use that rectangle as the basis for this view, and then of course in here I can now scale that up, right, and then I can dimension that as well. So I think in here, as far as I know, you can put in things like center marks. Yes, you can. Okay, see, but actually hasn't given us the full dimension, the full extension line. That's because my original view cut it out. So you need to just watch that, because otherwise you're going to have to go and do a manual insertion of center line like this, and then just make that thinner. Alright, and then obviously I would then put in center line annotation and the datums and all the rest of the good stuff. So that's how you would dimension a fully symmetrical piece. As long as you've got the full view. Oh, that's one other thing that I didn't mention yet, is just to put in an annotation here that this is full scale. Or scale 1:1, that's quite acceptable. And then this one would be, as in here, you would say scale 3:1. Thanks for watching.